going on, guys? Welcome back to the Free Range 6M podcast. Today we got my boy Russell from Venture Outdoors in Warrensburg, Missouri. We've been up to a lot of shit together and tapping in on a podcast, kind of explaining further detail. We've been on a hunt in Colorado and then just got back the other day from one in North Dakota. So, Russell, why don't you kick it off? How was that hunt in Colorado?
Yeah, it was obviously out of this world, in my opinion. You know, I've been out there a couple times, lived out there for a little while, and never got to really experience, I guess, an off-grid hunt like we did. Been on a couple hunts here and there, you know, where I slept in my pickup, which I guess was kind of the same thing, but not in the middle of a mountain, kind of in an unfamiliar area. So that was crazy. I think the whole thing, how it started, was crazy. I pretty much just one day was like called and I was like, hey, we got some pro staff deals. Like, we're going to throw a YouTube deal together. Like, this is that. And then I think by like the end of the week, I was like, hey, you want to load up and go to Colorado? And it's been a snowball since then.
Yeah. So we picked up, I got a text from you like late as fuck in the night. And, you know, we left, you know, pitch dark, left Kansas City and headed out on a big trip to western Colorado. You know, took I-70 all the way to, what was the Glenwood or Glendale or
one or the other.
One of them.
We've said them both so many times I can't remember which one it actually is.
I think it was Glenwood Springs.
I think it was
outside of Glenwood. What was we were in Colburn.
Colburn was the closest town to us. That was 30 miles away. Yeah. 30 minutes.
Great people there. Stopped at a cafe a few times, had a few drinks here and there, and
yeah. What was the name of that cafe?
I can't remember. They're great people. It's probably the only cafe there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so that was a good time. We got there and took a little nap in the woods on the hammocks, and then Joey and Eric pulled up out of nowhere, and they were ready to go, right?
Yeah, that was crazy. That happened. That whole set of events happened really fast, about like everything else. We got there, we're dead tired. I was dead set on taking a nap. I think we were supposed to, I can't remember what time we were supposed to leave the night before. It was like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. I think I picked you up at like 10.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty early. Had to scrap shit together.
I had gotten myself worked up and was like, man, we've got to get out of the house. We got to go now. Mm-hmm. And came and picked you up and drove. I think it took us like 15 hours, maybe like 16 to get out there.
Yeah.
On a 12-hour drive. I mean, we were lollygagging and stopping and got back and I fell asleep for a minute, and then it was the same time. It couldn't have been an hour and a half, and it was like wake up, throw everything in the truck, move campsites.
Mm-hmm.
I think Eric was the only one with enough energy left to push everybody to go hunt, and luckily he did, you know. And
yeah, it was like got all our shit set up at camp, and then right to it, got in the side-by-side and went to a little trail, and it was closed off. Usually you can get a side-by-side in there, but there was rocks in the way. They didn't let people in there, I guess. So hopped out on foot and walked probably a mile and a half to our spot.
Yeah, I'd say it was a good mile and a half in the wrong direction. We were going downhill.
Yeah. Yeah. And then within probably 30 to 45 minutes, what happened after that?
I wouldn't even say that. Once we kind of got down to a spot where we were just going to scout and set up and hunt in the morning, and me and Joey took off one way and you and Eric took off the other, and, you know, kind of split up. And by the time I think we were still walking, and I was kind of goofing off looking for sheds and checking out the scenery and, you know, kind of maybe things for the next day or whatever. And Joey did the jump, you know, where he like stops in his tracks, and I turned and looked, and there was a bear on his back feet just staring at us.
Yeah.
And so he started getting down and setting up his tripod and getting everything ready and trying to get the gun in position. And the bear had kind of actually started, you know, working back towards you guys. I think you guys had seen it maybe before us and already set up. And I got the rangefinder out and was ranging him. I don't know why he wasn't. I think he was 180 maybe, 170 yards, and Joey got set up on him. I mean, that all, from walking to the side-by-side to down there was maybe 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, we had a mile and a half walk in between there, and sure enough, he pulled the trigger and bam, drop this bear. And I mean, this is our first 45 minutes of hunting in Colorado, and I was like, this is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Until
we were we were ready to go. We thought it was going to be a big, big weekend or that stretch of days. He dropped that thing. That thing dropped immediately. Didn't take no steps.
No.
Crazy. But luckily I had my camera out already. I was filming Eric.
Yeah.
Filming him, setting his shit up, and then all of a sudden I'm looking at the screen and he's like yelling at me a little bit, not saying words, trying to be quiet. And then I swing the camera over and there's a fucking bear standing up on its feet and, looking over at us. But that was kind of the end of the excitement, other than the scenery and maybe some mule deer out there.
Yeah. So, that was all exciting. Everything was really cool until about 5 minutes after that, when we had to barrel down there and start dragging him out.
Yeah.
Which was a trip in itself. I think we drug him. We went down there immediately, gutted him, drug him down across the creek.
Yeah.
3 of us just picked him up and manhandled him. Got him across the creek and kind of had the idea, like, man, maybe we can hop on one of these fishing bikes and pull him out of there. And so we went back to the camp and dropped a guy off to cook dinner, and me, you, and Joey went down there, and we loaded him up on the bike and started got him out of there on the bike, which was pretty crazy. I get asked a lot about that. There's still a ton of people talking about that.
Yeah, we'll throw the video up on here.
Yeah,
of the sure. Bear getting pushed up the mountain.
The more I look back at it, like, that was pretty cool that we threw it up on the electric bike and pulled it out of there. But at the time, I was just thinking of any good way to get that thing off the mountain, because I'm not gonna lie, I was out of breath. Mm-hmm. I was down trying to pull that bear up the mountain, and it was pretty crazy. So pretty thankful to have one of those with us. And
so luckily you sell the fucking fishing bikes out of your store.
Yeah.
So they're, easy access. Just go back up to camp, grab the bike.
Yeah.
Bring it back. And
for sure.
Wasn't the easiest thing getting it up the mountain.
No.
There was all these bushes everywhere in the way, getting caught in the chain, and chain popping off, and
the sage bushes.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Them things are gnarly.
Yeah.
Hard to walk through.
Yeah, so that was a fucking eventful first day, but after that, we didn't.
Yeah, it was definitely
a goddamn thing.
No, didn't see nothing, but definitely super relaxing, and from that point on, and again, after being so tired after the first day, we went to bed and then got up immediately the next day. It was like, ugh, still dragging, and luckily our walk was minimal because of the bikes. We hopped on the bikes and cruised to our spot, and I feel like that really saved us. Had we had to walk to where we were hunting, 2 or 3 miles every day, there and back, I'd say we would have been worn out. But
we went everywhere in them fucking things. We were hitting jumps on the way to to our spot, and those things are badass, going up different hills and through rocks and creeks, and those things are pretty badass. So if you are a hunter, it's not a bad idea to grab one of those bikes. No,
I don't know if I could do it without one now. Yeah. And when I first got one, I was like, I'll try one out, promo it and see what they're all about. Now I don't go anywhere without one.
Yeah.
I mean, whitetail hunting, in the mountains, anything.
Yeah.
So it was just crazy, and we got to see a lot of stuff I feel like we maybe might not have went and seen, just because we would have been so tired. It would have been like, man, I'm not walking another 4 miles in and 4 miles out.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, we would have had to wake up an hour and a half earlier to walk 2 or 3 miles. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of ground to cover, so those bikes were great. So that hunt was fucking sick. Came home with the footage of a bear getting taken down, and that episode will be out here soon. I think we're shooting interviews for that of Eric and Joey here later this evening, so that'll be badass.
Yeah, for sure. I still had a great time. I think where we were at, we seen a ton of mule deer, or a couple of mule deer. One of them was an absolute stud. So
we'll have to go out there again.
Oh yeah, that's got me thinking about a mule deer tag for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yep. That was a great trip. Great hunt the first day, great scenery, new experience. No phone service out there, really felt free out there, and nothing bothering you.
For sure.
Great trip. So our next topic, the fucking, we just got back the other day from North Dakota out in Delamere in the middle of nowhere with Levi and Parker and Bryce and Brandon and Austin and Colby,
Mike,
Krista, who
Mikey.
else? Yeah, everybody.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of people. I've just met them all for the first time, but they were great people. And I appreciate going on that trip. It was badass.
For sure. Well, it's kind of crazy because like I've known Levi forever. I mean, I grew up with Levi, and you know, that was kind of his. You know, some of the people he's met, and I think some of them worked for him and stuff like that. So I'd met a couple of them, but not very many of them. So we pretty much just loaded up, went up there, and stayed in a cabin with 10 other people we'd never even met. Met before, and all super good people, and just all the way around the whole trip. I mean, the participation with the cameras, the everything was a success. The amount, I mean, I think the success we had, I don't know if some people would say, not limiting out every day is, but I don't know, it felt like we shot a lot of birds, and it felt like we, did a lot of things right, learned a lot. We can definitely get better, but for going up there and not a single person in the cabin knowing what is going to happen or how to do it, or I think we did pretty well, and just an all around great time.
Yeah, that was a great trip. There was minimal knowledge going into it of just like the environment, the terrain, and the people that live there, and where we could hunt at all, like get there. And it was trying to find landowners and feeds, and but getting permission before you go and hunt. So
for sure,
it was a new experience, great experience. Second day we did, I think we hit it pretty good that first hunt.
We whacked them for sure.
Yeah. What how many birds did we get that?
I think we shot a little under 30 maybe that day.
Yeah. It was good. It was a good day. I had never filmed waterfowl like that. The boy Dakota and Quentin, they're always out doing it, so I see their stuff, but I had never done it. It took me a minute to get the camera settings adjusted and figure out, how to shoot these birds flying in, because those ducks, they're not fucking slow or anything.
No, they're hauling ass, and they're dipping, diving, turning, and doing everything.
Yeah. Came out of there with a shit ton of footage and had a great time. Definitely want to go back. If we go back next month, that'd be fucking badass.
Yeah.
I think the weather was a little weird this time.
Yeah, and that's what we fought. I really think if it would have stayed the same the whole time, I think we just got stuck on how we did it the first day and had a little bit of success, and we're like, okay, we know how to do it then, and then it warmed up, and it seemed like they were feeding just one time a day, and you didn't really know when it was going to be from, sunrise to sunset. They were just kind of all over the place after that. And still a ton of birds. I think one day, the day after that, it got up to like 70 some degrees.
Yeah, it was
hot.
Yeah.
Besides that, I mean, we got in there the first day and did some scouting, found a huge feed of ducks and geese landing into a field, and marked it and was trying to get the landowner's name and stuff like that, and then ended up running across another piece of his property that had a QR code on it. And I remember we scanned that, and it was like, it was like $300 and some a day maybe, or something, to where you could scan this QR code and you could hunt it for that much a day. And I was like, holy cow. And we went to circle back around because we knew we owned that other piece that had that big feed on it. And we ended up walking. Dude was outside growing with his kids and stuff in the yard, and I ended up walking up there and just telling him what we were there for, and asked him, if we could hunt and what we were doing, and gave us permission pretty much the whole week to hunt there. And the next day I guess the next morning we sat in there and we killed 5 ducks. Kind of missed. We kind of set off of them and threw a big spread, hoping we could draw them off that big feed, and didn't have very much success with that. So ended up moving the blinds and stuff down to the other side of the field, and that day right there was pretty crazy. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've had some big groups of ducks land on me, but I mean, there was groups of 150, 200, if not more ducks, working us, and we were getting to bust them out, and shot a couple groups of 8, 9 ducks at a time. So definitely pretty cool.
So what do you think? total number coming out of there was?
I'd say probably 60.
60.
Yeah, 60, give or take. Overall, maybe a little less. I know we shot 20 something that big day, and then the other day that they weren't flying as in big groups, but we were getting a ton of small groups. We killed 20 something that day.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other days, probably pieced 6, 10,
Smaller.
12, whatever it was together.
Yeah. That weather was weird.
Yeah.
It
was different every single day, it seemed like.
Mm-hmm. So the getting up there with like minimal knowledge and shit, not knowing nobody, describe like the process we had to go through. You kind of went into it a little bit, but getting permission, looking at a feed, and then from there.
So in North Dakota, everything's either posted or it's not posted.
Mm-hmm.
It has something to do with government grants, to where if the farmer, and it's all private ground, to where if the farmer doesn't post it, then you can legally hunt it, just as a walk-in. And then they give the farmer or whatever some kind of grant or tax break or whatever it was. And then if it's posted, you have to have permission. But there's a North Dakota map that you could go to, and then we had Onyx. So Onyx kind of tells you who owns it and what's posted and what's not. So yeah, pretty much which I can get into how we found the second one. That's a pretty good story.
Yeah.
But pretty much, you pretty much had to track these people down. You had to try to find their phone numbers or find their address or whatever. We went to a couple houses and door knocked. Well, actually the first one we went to door knock, they were outside, like I said, and got permission. And then the second one we went and door knocked, they didn't even answer. But so we were trying to go through that process of trying to find their number, trying to find them on Facebook, trying to find anything we could just to get a hold of these people or somebody that knew them. We stopped one time at a gas pump, and I hopped out and talked to this guy for 5 or 6 minutes, and he ended up working for the fertilizer plant. He's like, well, I don't know him, but these guys probably will. And so then we went down, and I went into the fertilizer plant, and pretty much just, we're from 10 hours away in some random guy's business. Like, hey, do you know this guy? We're trying to hunt birds on him. And dude whips his phone out, gives me his number. He's like, here you go. Everybody up there was super nice, which I thought was crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, then, so got a hold of him after we went through all of that and pretty much called the guy, and he's like, nope, I got hunters coming in, after we had spent an hour and a half trying to get, permission on those feeds. So, that's kind of the bummer part about it. But then the next feed that we got on, we had went to the guy's house, knocked on his door, no answer, tried calling him, no answer. And we just happened to be driving down the gravel road, turned around, and there's 2 younger kids. I think they were like 19, 20s probably. A couple good old boys that lived there, and it was kind of weird how it happened, because they were like driving by us, like halfway rolling down their window and like acting like they wanted to stop and talk. And we were kind of like, nah, whatever, I guess we'll stop and talk to them. And, they were kind of asking what we were doing. We asked, they were waterfowl hunters, and pretty much it ultimately came out of, hey, do you guys know this guy?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember. I think his name was
Kenneth.
His name was Kenneth. And Levi was like, oh, do you know Kenneth? And he was like, oh yeah, I know Kenny.
Yeah.
And he was just, he was like, yeah, I know him. And he's like, what, do you guys want me to call him? I'm like, yeah. So we called him up, and it was kind of crazy. We asked him, he was like, yeah, I don't care. They can go out there and hunt. And it wasn't posted, but we still called and tried to get permission, even though it wasn't posted. Tried our hardest to let, people know that we were going to be out there and stuff like that. And that guy must have been crazy, because we asked if we could drive the side-by-sides out there, and the dude's like, I don't care if you smoke crack cocaine out there, you guys do whatever you want. So I was like, well, we're probably not going to get that wild, but
we're from Missouri, so
yeah, maybe we ain't from Independence, but
well, one of us might be. I don't know. But so as far as like politeness goes, like how would you compare Missouri farmers to North Dakota farmers?
Oh man, night and day difference.
Yeah,
night and day difference. I mean, every person, even when we were in the bar, we went to the schoolhouse right there across the way, which was a kick-ass bar. I mean, it was a little tiny old schoolhouse that was renovated, but we'd go there and get some pizza and get something to drink and sit down at the bar. I mean, the farmers would just come up to you and be like, oh, what are you guys doing here? Because, obviously there's 12 of us in there in the middle of nowhere, and nobody knows where that place is, I'd say. and they just come up to us and be like, hey, what are you guys doing here? Where are you hunting? And try to give us as many leads.
Yeah.
The bartender was writing down people's name for us to go and hunt. And just, and that's awesome. I'd say a little bit of that gets taken advantage of. I'd say it's less popular there. I'd say why people like compared to here, like it's so hard to get permission to do anything on anybody's property. But I feel like it's more populated here to where they get burned so many times.
Yeah.
You get burned 5 or 6, 7 times out of 10. Yeah. I don't know. It might be the same thing there, but yeah, everybody was super open.
Yeah, fucking great
come
people.
on, hunt.
I'm considering someday, when the Chiefs suck, to move up there. That shit is badass.
Yeah, it was crazy. Everybody knew everybody. Everybody helped everybody out. Like it seemed like, I know here, like some of the farmers, they're not always so willing. You know what I mean? There's always like a little beef or a little tiff or, something like you ain't going to catch 8 of them out sitting at the bar together.
Yeah.
Maybe 1 or 2 in the same mix. But heck, up there, seemed like we were in there maybe 3 nights, and all 3 nights the same 6 or 7 farmers came in, and I think they were pretty big dogs, and they were just in there having a good time, talking to each other, seeing what was going on, collaborating, and I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a little different world down here. We're in the show me state, so
yeah,
people around here like show me something, like you ain't just getting this shit for free.
Yeah. Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Every day we'd get out and hunt, come back, hunt morning, hunt evening. And then, luckily about 20 feet away from my Airbnb, there was that bar named Schoolhouse, old schoolhouse from 1883 that they renovated and turned into a bar. This fucking town is like probably 15 houses or something, and 20 feet away from my Airbnb was the fucking bar. So,
yeah,
get in there after hunting and have your 4 or 5, 20 drinks or whatever. The last night we got a little crazy, but met good people there and ran into fucking some South Africans.
Oh yeah,
they were just nuts, and
I forgot about that.
Had some good times with them. One of them was named Adolf, and we kind of almost got into it with him. I had a few too many drinks that night, but came out of it with no bumps or bruises. So
yeah, JJ was up at the bar. He's grabbed it. He found out his name was Adolf, and he was mouthed off something. I can't remember what it was. And he had a hole in the back of his neck and was asking if he knew what 1776 meant.
Yeah. I got them dudes on Facebook, and we'll be back up soon to chop it up with them. But good people, great people in that town, and our experience in North Dakota was fucking great. That was the first time I ever been in North Dakota.
Me too.
But great time. Both of those fucking hunts were great. I think we got a lot of shit coming up. Maybe we can get into that. What you got moving forward?
Yeah, so I mean, we've been working on that a lot. I'm just trying to pump out some YouTube videos. That'll be coming here sometime soon. Kind of trying to ship gears that way, where we can put some people on the ground and hunting for us. I guess not hunting really. And I was telling somebody this the other day. I was like kind of talking about what we were jockeying around and doing this. The only thing we've added into our equation is the cameras, which is a lot. I mean, it's about probably a quarter, if not a third, more than already doing everything you're doing. But yeah, just trying to incorporate cameras and kind of tell our story and show people how we do it, and maybe promote the store a little bit along the way. And I think we've been having a little bit of success and going good so far. Just crazy busy. It's hard. It's really hard, doing that stuff and biting the bullet. It's hard. It's extremely hard for me to be gone for a week. I mean, I have so many things going, so many irons on the fire, which is nothing but my fault. But, now here we are. I've been gone 2, 3, 4 weeks in the last 2 months since this has happened. And it's just been nuts. So very little sleep, lots of work, even though sometimes it feels like fun.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
Like going on the hunts and stuff. Don't get me wrong, it was fun, but it wasn't fun when everybody else was taking naps and sleeping, and we were, trying to go through crap and trying to make sure we had all the shots, and
Yeah.
It adds a little bit extra, but still a good time. I mean, I'd rather be doing that than, I don't know, picking trash up or whatever, like a dumpster service, even though I think it might pay better.
We've had a ton of fun. We're going to have a ton of success. These episodes that are coming out soon, both those hunts we filmed, knocking out the last portion of filming with these interviews this evening for the bear hunt, and then that duck episode that'll be out, or it'll be ready for you within a week. So
yeah,
a lot of success coming, a lot of good shit. We put in a lot of work together, and I've had a lot of fun fucking doing it. So looking forward to doing it more hunts, more fun, more partying here and there. We got the speakeasy, so we can get up there and celebrate, around these episodes and have some watch parties and whatnot. I think we'll wrap it up there and, get back to it soon. Get you on another episode. Thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, for sure. Always a pleasure.